Hello everyone and welcome to the Hakim Sabzevari University English Language and Literature Association channel. I'm Zahra Heydari and today we're going to master a super powerful grammar tool that will instantly make your English sound more fluid and advanced. Adjective clauses, also widely known as relative clauses. Take a look at the graphics on this screen. Instead of saying two short, choppy sentences like the man is here, the man called me, we can combine them seamlessly into one beautiful sentence. The man who called me is here. By the end of this lesson, you will confidently know when to use words like who, which, that, and whose, how to use commas correctly, and even when you can secretly drop these words entirely. Okay, let's dive in. Let's start with the absolute basics. What is an adjective clause? First, let's remember what a normal adjective does. If I say Jabari caught a gigantic fish, what is the adjective? Exactly, gigantic. It describes the fish. It's just a single word, but sometimes a single word isn't enough to give all the details we want. That's where an adjective clause comes in. A clause is a group of words with its own subject and verb. We know that. Its entire job is to function exactly like that single adjective, to give more details about a noun. Look at the second example. Jabbar caught a fish which was gigantic. Here, which was gigantic, is our adjective clause. It modifies the noun fish. Now, look at this very important key term, antecedent. The antecedent is simply the specific noun or pronoun that comes right before the adjective clause. In this sentence, fish is our antecedent. Yes. And check this sentence. The book that I read was great. What is the antecedent here? Good. It's the book. Now, to build these clauses perfectly every time, we need to follow 5 core rules. Let's break them down quickly. First, we should start with an introductory word. Your clause must begin with a relative pronoun like who, which, that, whom, whose, or a relative adverb like where, when, why. Okay. The second core rule is that containing a subject and a verb. Remember, it's a clause, yes? Look at the example. Everyone wants colleagues who are dedicated. Who here acts as the subject and are is our verb. It has its own heartbeat separate from the main sentence, yes? Look at the next rule. Must connect to an independent clause. Adjective clauses are dependent. They can stand alone as a sentence. If you just say, where they have Wi-Fi, your friends will be confused. You must attach it to a complete thought and say, let's go to a cafe where they have Wi-Fi. Yes. The next rule relates back to an external noun. It must modify something outside of itself, like a subject, direct object, or prepositional object, okay? And the last rule is that it must follow the noun. This is crucial. The clause almost always follows right after its antecedent. You can't put it at the very end of the sentence if the noun is at the beginning. Now, how do we choose the right introductory word? It depends entirely on whether your antecedent is a person or a thing. Let's look at the first box. It's about people. When we talk about people, we use who, whom, whose, or that. He paid the man who had done the work. Man's is a noun, is a person. Yeah, so we use who. This is the girl whose picture you saw. Whose shows possession. It means the picture belongs to the girl. Now look at the second box, things. When describing objects, concepts, or animals, we use which or that. Here is a book which describes animals. We use which because a book is a thing, not a person. Yes. If I say the teacher helped me was kind, do we use who or which? Which one? You tell me. The teacher helped me was kind. We use who. Excellent. Because a teacher is a person. Yes. In addition to people and things, we can also modify nouns that represent time, places, or reasons. For these, we use relative adverbs. For time, we use when. Okay, this is the year when the Olympic Games are held. Year is a time noun. For place, we use where. Here is the house where I live. House is a place. For reason, we use why. Give me one good reason why you did that. Reason pairs with why. There are some less common introductory words like whoever, whomever, before, after, and as, but focus on these core 5 for now, okay? And you can learn them in your book, Modern. Now, pay close attention to this slide because this is where many English learners make mistakes with punctuation. There are 2 main types of adjective clauses, defining and non-defining. Defining clauses, these gives essential information. Without this clause, the sentence loses its meaning or becomes incomplete. And the rule here is that do not use commas here. Okay. We have a that's rule where you can freely use the word that in defining clauses. Okay, and the second type of adjective clauses here is non-defining clauses, or we can call it non-restrictive. These just give extra information. The identity of the noun is already clear. If we delete the clause, the sentence still makes perfect sense, okay? And the important rule here is that you must separate these clauses with commas. Think of commas as handles to lift the extra information out. And we have the that rule here, like we had it in defining clauses, okay? Let's see what this looks like visually on the next slide. Okay, let's look at these 2 sentences to see the massive difference commas make. On the left, the package that arrived this morning is on the desk. Imagine there are 5 packages in the room. Which one am I talking about? The one that arrived this morning. We need this info to identify the package. No commas. And that is perfectly fine. On the right, the desk in the corner, which is covered in books, is mine. If I say the desk in the corner, you already knew exactly which desk I mean because I pointed out its location. The fact that it's covered in books is just extra description. Therefore, we use commas and we use which. never that, okay? If you are ever confused about whether a clause is non-defining and needs commas, check if the antecedent fits into one of these 4 categories. The first category is proper nouns, specific names of people or places, right? William Faulkner, for example, who had just won the Nobel Prize. We already know exactly who he is because of his name. The second category is unique, yes, one of a kind nouns. For example, the boy's mother who loves him very much. A person only has one biological mother, so she's already a unique entity, yes. The third category is restricted by context. For example, the coffee, which had been boiling for a long time, tasted rancid. If we already know which specific coffee we are talking about from a previous sentence, the clause is just extra info. The next category is refers to all of a class. Refers to all of a class. For example, the chairs which were in bad condition were sent out to be repaired. This means all the chairs in question were bad and all were sent out.